Hi, this is Mia, and welcome back to the Heal and Grow podcast, where we grow gently, one small thought at a time. Today, I want to talk about a quiet habit many of us have, but don't always notice. We sometimes push away the very things we secretly want. Have you ever heard someone say, "Money doesn't matter," but still feel worried about money? Or looks aren't important, while they quietly wish they felt more confident. Or even, success is overrated, but there is a small sense of disappointment underneath. When you listen closely, you can feel that something is not fully true. So why do we do this? To understand it better, let me share a simple story. Have you ever heard about the fox and the grapes? The fox tried to reach the grapes, but it could not. Instead of saying, "I can't reach them," it said, "The grapes are probably not good anyway." It is a very simple story, but it reflects something very human. In our own life, we do the same thing. Maybe there is something you truly want, a job, a dream, or a better version of yourself. But when you don't have it yet, or when you see someone else has it, you begin to say, "It's not that great," or "I don't really want it." And here is the important part. We don't do this because we are dishonest. We do it because we want to protect ourselves. Because if you say, "I want this, but I don't have it," it can feel painful. It can make you feel not good enough. So the mind quietly changes the story. It turns a real desire into a small rejection. It makes it feel like a choice, instead of a failure. And for a moment it helps you feel safer. But over time, there is a hidden cost. When you keep telling yourself that something is not valuable, you slowly stop moving toward it. You don't just lose the goal. You also lose your direction. So maybe today we can try something different. Instead of saying, "I don't need it," you can gently say, "I don't have it yet, but I still want it." And that small moment of honesty can be the first step back to your true direction. This is very normal. It is how our mind works. When there is a gap between what we want and what we have, we feel uncomfortable. We may feel stress, doubt ourselves, or feel not good enough. Because this feeling is hard, the mind tries to protect us. It does this in a quiet way, by changing the story in our head. Instead of saying, "I want this, but I don't have it," the mind says, "Maybe I don't really want it." Let's look at some simple examples. You want a higher salary, but you don't have it yet. So instead of saying, "I want more money," you say, "Money is not that important." Or you want to feel more confident about how you look, but you are not there yet. So you say, "Looks don't matter." Or when you see someone successful, instead of feeling inspired, you say, "That life is too stressful. I don't want it." But if you look deeper, the truth is simple. A part of you still wants it. At the same time, another part of you is trying to protect you from feeling not good enough. So the mind changes the meaning of the goal. It makes the goal look smaller, less important, or even negative. This can help you feel better for a short time, but it does not last. Because when you keep telling yourself something is not important, you slowly stop moving toward it. So this is not a weakness. It is your mind trying to protect you. But if you are not aware of it, it can quietly stop you from living the life you truly want. And there is something very important we need to see. This habit is not just a small lie we tell ourselves. It has a real cost. Every time you say, "I don't need it," while deep inside you still want it, you create a small conflict inside your mind. One part of you is honest. It knows what you truly want. But another part is trying to hide it. And when these two parts don't match, you slowly start to feel less clear, less confident, and less connected to yourself. At first, this gap is very small, so you may not notice it. But if it happens again and again, the gap becomes bigger. You begin to move away from what you truly want, and closer to a version of yourself that feels safe, but not real. And this is where the real problem begins. Because when you keep telling yourself that something is not important, your mind starts to believe it. And when your mind believes something is not important, it stops trying. It stops looking for ideas, chances, or ways to grow. Over time, this also affects your confidence. Deep inside, you know the truth. You know you are not being fully honest with yourself. And when this happens many times, you begin to trust yourself less. You may start to feel like maybe you are not able to reach what you want. So in the end, you are not only pushing your goal away, you are also slowly losing belief in yourself. Then you become more comfortable staying where you are. You stay in your safe zone. You don't try to build the skills you need, like discipline, communication, or even how to manage money. Because you have already told yourself those things don't matter. And slowly, this habit can make you more negative. When you often criticize what others have, you may start to feel far away from people who are growing or doing well. Because of that, you may only stay around people who also feel stuck. People who complain, who blame, who feel the same frustration. And without realizing it, you lose the chance to learn from people who have already reached what you quietly want. You lose the chance to be guided. And even if you try to ignore your desire, it does not disappear. It stays inside you. It becomes quiet, but it is still there. And over time, it can turn into frustration or even anger. You may feel more easily upset or feel like life is unfair. And this can affect your mental health and your ability to create, to grow, and to see clearly. Because when your mind is busy finding reasons to reject something, your eyes slowly stop seeing opportunities. A course, a project, or a new chance. Instead of looking like a door, it starts to look like something not important. And just like that, you may miss the very things that could change your life. So how can we gently change this habit and move forward in a better way? It starts with one small but powerful step: being honest with yourself. The next time you see someone who has something you want, like success, confidence, or a good relationship, pause for a few seconds and softly say, "I feel this way because I want that too." This is not a bad thing. This is a moment of awareness. When you can name your feeling, it becomes lighter and calmer. And you can understand yourself better. And from that calm place, you can begin to grow. Then, instead of judging, try to be curious. Instead of saying, "They are just lucky," you can ask, "What did they do to get there? What can I learn from them, even a small thing?" This small change can open a new door. The person you once compared yourself to can now inspire you and show you what is possible. And as you continue, let's gently change one important idea. Wanting something does not mean you are shallow or not enough. Desire is a normal part of being human. It shows that you want to learn, to grow, and to become better. So instead of pushing it away, you can say, "Yes, I want this. Yes, this matters to me." This may feel simple, but it changes your mind in a powerful way. When your thoughts and your goals go in the same direction, you feel less resistance. You don't need to hide your desire anymore. And the energy you used to protect yourself is now free for learning, planning, and taking action. This is not weakness. This is clarity. And from clarity, real growth can begin. From here, you don't need to wait for a perfect time. You can start where you are. Take one small step. Try one new thing. Learn one small skill. Let your mind slowly get used to the life you want. When something feels familiar, it also feels possible. And remember this: what you see in others is not magic, it is a process. Confidence and success are built step by step, day by day. So instead of feeling small, you can feel hopeful, because if there is a path, you can walk it too. And finally, listen to your inner voice, because your words shape your life. Instead of asking, "Why not me?" try asking, "How can I move one step closer in my own way?" This is where change begins. You don't need to rush, and you don't need to be perfect. Just be a little more honest, a little more open, and a little more willing to try. And step by step, you will stop pushing your dreams away and start becoming the person who can truly live them. And as we come to the end of this episode, I want to invite you to try something very gentle with yourself. Imagine what it feels like to respect your desires instead of pushing them away. To see them not as a sign that you are not enough, but as a quiet direction, showing you who you are becoming. Because the things you wish for are not random. They often point to a part of you that is ready to grow. Real growth does not begin when you hide your desire. It begins when you can look at it with awareness and with kindness. So if you ever notice yourself saying, "I don't need it," just pause for a moment and listen a little deeper. Under that reaction, there is often a real feeling. There is a small hope, a quiet dream, still waiting for you, and you don't need to protect yourself from it. You are safe to want more. You are allowed to grow. I just want you to know, wherever you are right now on your journey, you are doing okay. You are learning, step by step, in your own way. And I truly hope you give yourself the same kindness that you give to others. Because healing is not only about calming the mind, it is also about being honest with the heart. So please, don't push away the things you quietly wish for. They may be gently guiding you forward to a life that feels more like you.